Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. CFL playoff weekend. Really exciting time, or one day on the weekend, not really a weekend. CFL playoff Saturday. Also, Jay's playing tonight. Game 6, possibly an opportunity to do something good.
The only time we'll cheer for Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, I
Or
guess them and the
Raptors.
Raptors. Yeah, them and
Yeah,
the
not the
Raptors.
Leafs, though.
No,
I'm done. Well, it depends where the Jets are. Any which way, we can get
never
into
with the
that
Leafs.
later.
Never.
Do us a favor, smash that subscribe button. Also hit that likes wherever you are, follow whatever app that you're on, please. Thank you. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out also on Reddit and Discord. And don't forget, leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
I really hope my mic was on for that introduction that whole time because I just twisted and I saw red, but we're in
I
a
heard
rush,
you.
so I don't think we'll go back. It'll be just random.
Yeah,
Weird.
they'll
No,
know
it
what
was
you said
working.
for the
It was
most part.
working. Let's get right into it. Bombers, what a weird intro. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Stand out on the ice, pavement, field, or in the stands with a custom airbrush helmet, goalie mask, or any type of project. A local Manitoba business with affordable solutions. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431.
And also, don't forget to tell them that Ray and Benny sent you.
I'm sure my mic was on for that one. That's
That
good.
better be, yeah.
Let's get right into it. Bombers playing the Alouettes. Crossover into the East. Offense, defense, special teams, Bomber blueprint. What do they have to do? Who's going to have a big game? I just want to point out on this roster, two people on defense, Cam Allen and James Vaughter. Two people on offense, Stearns, maybe Corcoran, depending on Dembski, have not played in a Grey Cup with the Bombers, or maybe at all. This team is stacked with Grey Cup experience. So let's not give up on them because I know there's a buzz this year that's a little different from playoff years. But let's get right into it. I've said enough. Offense, what do they got to do to win? What are they going to do? Who's going to have a big game?
But just to add on to what you're saying, though, sorry, like we haven't been in this position where they're actually been playing on the first day of the playoffs, in a while.
Yep.
How many West Finals was it in a row? Three, four?
It hasn't been since they won the first one in 19 when they had to go on the road to Saskatchewan, right?
Exactly. So
Or
sorry,
Calgary.
Calgary.
Calgary first
Yeah.
and then Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so it's different, right? And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it'll give them a chance to kind of regroup and refocus. Plus, now you're crossing over,
Yeah.
which the Bombers have never done, and no team has been successful in doing so either. They've won the first game before, right? They like the Elks or
but haven't made it
Edmonton
to
won that,
the haven't
but
made
they
it to
lost
the
the East Final, right?
yeah.
So this is a big opportunity to be the first team to get to the Grey Cup in this situation. But again, it's going to be a tough task on the road in Montreal against a team that's pretty healthy as well in Montreal. Not as well because Winnipeg are missing a couple guys possibly. But Montreal is missing Mustafa Johnson. I think I just saw that today. So,
Ooh.
like you said, Corcoran, which is surprising over Clarcius,
Yeah.
is in the lineup. Clarcius is still in the lineup. It looks like he's on the depth chart, but he's a backup. So that's an interesting decision as well. We'll see on Dembski, game time decision. And no Vanderpool and no Logan. Now, I'm surprised with Logan. I'm like, why did you bring him in this year if you weren't going to use him? This was a time I was hoping they would kind of use him to kind of throw the Montreal defense off. Because for me, I think it's going to be Brady Oliveira. Brady Oliveira is going to have to carry this offense. And not just him himself, obviously. That whole line is going to be matched up tough against that Montreal front seven.
Huge matchup.
Montreal, what was led the league? No, tied for first with 45 sacks on the season.
Yep.
Right. And we've seen this whole line at times struggle to protect Zach Collaros. So they're going to have to take it off. The Heat's going to have to be taken off by this run game and give Zach Collaros some time. Let him use a play action if he can. But yeah, this defense is ferocious. They've only allowed 23.9 points per game, forced 17 fumbles. On top of the interceptions, we know the Bomber offense has been one to give this ball away constantly. And then that all starts with, unfortunately, Zach Collaros. He needs to play a turnover-free game for the Bombers to have a chance to win. If you're turning the ball over and giving Montreal and Davis Alexander in that offense short field position, it's going to be a long day. So turnover-free from Zach. Brady Oliveira's got to get it going on the ground, and the O-line has to play their best game of the season. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Pretty simple to say. Easier said than done, like
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
said earlier on in the evening when we were off the air. If there is any game this year where they're going to need and have to succeed in establishing bully ball, it's this one. And when we talk about bully ball, we're just not talking about the heavy set alignment, which they should use constantly in this game, or giving Brady Oliveira the ball 20 plus times a game, which they should do. But we're talking about the mentality of going in there and grinding your opponent to the ground. Now, I don't know if that mentality started leaving with first Hardrick and then all the other pieces in the middle, but they haven't looked like that in a long time. And if they're going to establish that, they need to establish that against this team. We've talked about the offensive line woes all year long. And these guys do have to play a perfect game against Montreal because let's be real. Like the Bombers' main issue has not being able to keep up offensively, especially with points, especially in the second half with their opposition. They've had issues with getting to the red zone, never mind executing in the red zone. So that O line, with the addition of another O line, I think O lineman on the edge playing tight end and not running them on a post pattern, like stay there and block and beat the living hell out of Montreal. Get that mentality back because they're not going to make 30 plus completion against Montreal. Number one, they're not good at it. Number two, Montreal is best at stopping it. So use trips, please, on with receivers with this heavy set in combination. I really believe the Bombers can actually score against Montreal consistently when they use this. Because what it does is it gives so many different looks. Put Jared Stearns in motion a lot, confuse the secondary, confuse the linebackers. Because, like I said, they're not going to give up anything big up top, and they're going to have some pressure up front with 4 guys only. So leave a guy there, let guys make moves, double moves the receivers, let them go. Maybe that's why. Maybe Corcoran's a better route runner. I don't know. I'm guessing. And maybe they're looking at that, some deep balls there, because Montreal is a tough D.
Yeah, and you need Dembski in this game, right? Even at 50%, he's got to take some heat off Ontario Wilson. Otherwise, Montreal is just going to focus on that side, take him out of the game. And then you got a lot of not rookies but unseasoned guys at wide receiver, a few new guys. I know Weedfall was here last year, but he was hurt going into playoffs, was he not? So some of these guys haven't even played playoff games for the Bombers yet. So being already down Dalton Schoen and now possibly Nick Dembski, thank God Ontario Wilson is back because it would be even tougher. But to me, biggest thing, just no turnovers because you cannot put this team in a hole. I expect the Bomber D, and we'll talk about that in a second, to play well in this game. And they've shown they can do some damage against not rookie. I know Davis Alexander's not rookie, but younger quarterbacks, and they've done it with Nathan Rourke. They've limited Nathan Rourke in having a lot of success. So maybe they can do the same thing with Davis Alexander here, but the offense is going to have to do their job and get points and keep that ball in their hands.
Well, play like you know the defense will do their job.
Yeah.
Like, the defense will hold them down points wise. Bombers were what, number 2 or maybe number 1 for points allowed. 2. I think they're 2 for points allowed behind Calgary. They're number 2 defense points scored against. So play like you're going to beat the hell out of them. If they put 8 in the box to stop the run, don't audible out of the run. Run it to their face.
That's the scary thing, right? Their game plan last year in the Grey Cup, the Bombers, was that we're going to throw it because Montreal is going to be pinned on stopping the run. Don't do that.
No. I don't know why Kevin Clercius is not playing. That's a big target. That's your biggest receiver right now. And Montreal has shown that they are susceptible to one-on-one situations. That's another benefit of playing trips receivers. You can see if you have that one receiver one-on-one and have that big body on a corner route into the end zone. Look for those mismatches. Just win that chess game, Jason Hogan. I know it's hard because you're going against Noel Thorpe. That dude, every year he goes unmentioned until like Grey Cup time. And people are like, oh yeah, he's a genius because he finds ways to cause pressure and plays physically on the defensive line. And the Bombers have to do that, talking about defense. Cam Lawson, Jamal Woods, they have to have the game. oh, sorry, we didn't talk about players who are going to have a great game on offense. I'm going to take Ontario Wilson. I think guy's going to have a lot of targets and a lot of receptions where he has to make more yards. He can't be tackled from the first guy. So I think Ontario Wilson, if the Bombers win, which I think they will, because I'm a Bomber fan, he'll have a big game.
I'm going to go with Brady. I mean, again, to me, he's the cog of this offense. And like same kind of thing, right? If the hole's not there, he's got to find a way to get through,
Yeah.
and he's got to pound that Montreal D line because we need them to get
Yes.
worn down to be able to have a chance in this game because we've seen Montreal's D line really beat up the Bombers in the past. Grey Cup, obviously, and stuff like that. So the trenches, man. And right now, I'm not trusting either side of our trench.
The past 3 Grey Cups that the Bombers have lost, they've been physically beaten on both sides of the line. Yeah. Toronto and Montreal have decided, F no, we'll punch you in the face as well and see what happens.
And that's what Winnipeg did to Hamilton in the first Grey Cup, right?
Both.
And they got away from that in their next few Grey Cups.
Yeah. Yeah. On defense, yeah, like I was saying, Cam Lawson and Jamal Woods need to have the game of their lives. People want to say online that Willie Jefferson has lost a step, and yeah, maybe with age he has to a certain extent, but when the other team can consistently shift their guard over to help with Willie Jefferson because the center in the middle is okay, you're going to slow down Willie Jefferson's pass rush, especially if you're only sending 3. So the Bombers need to find a way to get pressure with 4. And you know what? You know what they should try? And maybe they have, and I haven't seen it much. Put Jefferson and Vaughters on the same side. We've seen Willie Jefferson play nose tackle on a 3-man front. So why not put Jefferson and Vaughters on the same side and see what happens? I don't know. But they got to be creative on that pass rush, and they got to send 4.
Yeah, for sure. Again, like I said, D-line, Willie Jefferson, he hasn't lost. He's lost a step because he's getting older. But he doesn't have a lot of help on that D-line, in same as years past. So, but the team has still held quarterbacks to a league low 62% completion rate, which is fantastic when you've got one of the lowest sack rates in the league, right? So those DBs are doing their job.
Yes.
They've only given up 21 passing touchdowns through the air. So again, doing their job. The hiccups that they were having earlier in the year with the long ball, the trick plays and all that, they were getting beat deep. They've cleaned that all up.
Yes.
And 73 knockdowns. And that includes Willie Jefferson as well. I think he had like 16 or whatever it was. So yeah, he may not be putting up the same stats, but he's still having an effect on that field. But Montreal's got a pretty good offense and all their receivers are back. Sneed, Austin Mack, Tyson Philpott. There's a lot of guys that can do damage there. So those DBs for the Bombers are going to have to be on their game, especially if that pass rush is not getting through. And if that's not getting through and you can't disrupt Davis Alexander, it's going to be a tough day for those guys. And I can't see our offense going toe-to-toe with Montreal. Davis Alexander right now is playing. Guy's 11-0 or whatever he is, unbeaten, still hasn't lost a game in the NFL, CFL. Whereas Zach Lawrence is kind of having a bit of a down year. So
yeah,
it's going to be tough. We need every one of this defense to play well, or as well as they have been playing, and keep this score down.
You're talking about mention everyone on this defense has got to do their part. I want to see what Kamari Munir-Bailey does. First game of the season last week against Montreal, 2025 draft pick, back up to James Vaughters. I want to see if they use him. See if they can get this Canadian going from Webster. He doesn't have to put up big numbers, but he got a tackle, and I think he was on special teams. He got one last week. So let's see what he can do. And hopefully he can give some relief. So Vaughters and Jefferson are fresher coming in to the 3rd and 4th. And maybe getting more of a pass rush because Davis Alexander, as good of a quarterback as he is, from what I remember, I haven't watched all the tape. He's not the best when plays break down. He's not the best when plays break down. He's not
decent scrambling ability though. Like he can get out of that pocket if he needs to.
But he's not known as a play maker once that stuff breaks down. He's not a Nathan Rourke. He's not a Bo Levi Mitchell yet. Well, it'd suck if he proved it against the Bombers, but yet that's not his staple.
Let's not do that this weekend.
I think Evan Holm will have actually a really good game, and I hope they send him on some blitzes because dude can be that weapon all over the field. So I think Evan Holm will have a big game.
Yeah, this is tough because we need a lot of guys to have a good game. But yeah, I'm gonna go in that secondary as well. I'm gonna go with Demario Houston. Um, like I said, three good receivers for Montreal. They need to be able to shut these guys down. They need to
Yeah.
be able to take some of these guys away. I'm gonna go with Demario Houston having a big game for the Bombers and really shutting down his side of the field.
Let's go with special teams. Who do you got there on having a good day? What do they got to do?
Obviously, Trey Vavell needs to have a big game, but I think where the Bombers are going to need this is Sergio Castillo needs to hit his field goals because there's
Yeah,
going to be obviously opportunities there for him, especially with this offense. I expect this to be a low scoring game. Not like the last week game when there was a lot of starters out, but like I feel like both teams will be around the 20-point mark. I don't think it's going to go really any higher than that.
I
So
agree.
you're going to need your special team guy, your kicker, Sergio Castillo, to hit those field goals when the opportunity is sitting there because any lost points in this game are going to be tough to overcome.
It will be very close. And Sergio Castillo's a good one. Who's Montreal's kicker again? Shoot.
Matos, I forgot his name.
Diaz.
Diaz, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, he has the most field goals in the league.
Maltos Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah.
Oh, and Castillo.
Yeah.
Any which way. Just saying. For special teams, I think both teams are really good at locking down the opposition's returner. So I think it's going to be between Tyrell Richards and Alexander Gagne of Montreal, who lead the league in special teams tackles, against Michael Ayers and Jalen Smith, who come in 3 and 4 in special teams tackles in the league. It's who can shut down the opposition's returner. Now, let's not get stuff mixed up. I was going to swear again. Bombers have the superior returner without a doubt. Trey Vavel, if he breaks one, he's going to break one. So it's really on to those dudes covering the kicks. So it's whoever has a bigger game. Ayers and Smith from Bombers or Gagne and Richards from Montreal.
Yeah, because James Letcher is no slouch over there on the other side either, right?
Oh,
So
no. Dude's got game.
you got to be aware of him as well. Should be a
You
good
got a
one,
score?
though. Looking forward to it.
You got a score for this game? We didn't ask for one on the notes, but do you got one? You kind of
I
gave
said
one with a 2020-ish kind of thing.
that'll be close. I'm going to go 23-20. Unfortunately, I am picking Montreal in this one.
I think I went either 1 for 3 or over 4 when I took all those upsets last week. But I'm going to take another upset this week with the Bombers. I'm going to go Bombers 24, Alouettes 23.
Should be a good one. I mean, I hope it's obviously a good one, right? And I hope the Bombers are in this one. They
Yeah.
definitely have the guys to do it. It's time to. This has been such a crazy season where sometimes it seems like the Hamilton game where they put it all together, and then you get duds left, right, and center. Zach Claros was only 6-7 this year. A stupid 6-7 just came up, and he left 3 of those games due to injury, right? So
I'm
we
loving
just
that
need.
6-7,
Oh, I'm
especially when
getting
it comes
so
to
tired of
Logan
it.
Stanley.
My kid says it way too much. I'm getting tired
I
of
don't know what that
it.
means, but I know people online have been saying, but he's 6'7" for a long time,
That's true. That's true.
longer than wherever
That
it comes from.
Winnipeg started it before this whole 6-7 thing took off.
Exactly. Exactly. Just look it up. Look it up, kids. Who do you see winning the West semifinal? Why? I got BC because they're rolling. Calgary, not so much. Nathan Rourke is going crazy. He looks like the QB that some expected, and he's embarrassing the haters and the trolls who gave him issue when he came back to the CFL, and he wasn't looking like this Nathan Rourke right now.
Yeah.
Like, shit. I'm going to take BC.
Yeah. I like to argue against you, but I can't on that just because, like you say, BC is playing way better than the two teams right now. Calgary kind of limped around for the second half of the season, won their last couple games to clinch a playoff spot and everything. But Calgary's D has given up over 5,000 yards. Nathan Rourke has been, he threw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
Vernon Adams hasn't been good against BC at all. And he's had an up and down season, started off strong, kind of weaker, but he's thrown 5 interceptions in a game against BC.
He is her.
The only chance Calgary has in this game for me. Obviously, the defense has to play well, but Dietrich Mills, they have to get him going. They have to control this ball and keep the rock away from BC. I know BC can go and score quickly,
Yeah.
so they can get it done, but they got to kind of have long drives, Calgary, and keep that offense from BC off the field, right? Because Rourke is dealing it against Calgary so far this season. James Butler may not play; he's a game time decision. But yeah, it'll be tough for Calgary to pull this one off, and in BC too.
Yeah. Did I hear that they're getting kind of full in the dome?
Yeah, well, it sounds like even Seattle, the Seahawks are helping them try to sell seats out. So,
And we talked about that relationship between CFL and NFL and how could that possibly be beneficial? And who knows? Who knows?
could be a good thing, could be a sign of things to come.
Who knows? Yeah, score for the West?
I'm gonna go 32 for BC. This is just off the top of my head. 24 for Calgary.
I'm going to go 39 BC, 19 Calgary.
Yeah, we didn't even mention how well BC's defense has been playing lately too. So
Bets. Ever since he got like 4 sacks in one game, dude's been rolling. Or maybe it's 3. I can't remember. It was one of those two, but he's been rolling. One word to describe Bobby Dyce's time as head coach in Ottawa. You can go first.
I'm gonna have to go with disappointing. When he took over interim, had some success down the stretch there of that season. Just unfortunately couldn't turn it around and turn it into positive seasons. And then last year, the year before this, 9-8-1, making the playoffs. Finally thought he had hit it, and got this team over the hump. And this year was going to be, because I did pick him as my Grey Cup finalist from the East. Had to kind of go with a bold prediction there, but unfortunately this year was marred by injuries again to Drew Brown. And it's not just him. Like, obviously the GM, Sean Burke, right? Like, how can, it says right there, Sean Burke. How does he get to stick around? Like, he's the one building this team and getting these guys. And it didn't work. It wasn't working with Rick Campbell before Bobby Dyce took over. So
no,
I don't know how he keeps his job.
I'm going to say uninspiring. I'm saying uninspiring because I never had really an issue on a week-to-week basis of Ottawa's play calling situationally. Maybe once or twice I was like, oh, of course. And of course, I'm a Bomber fan. I don't follow them as closely as Red Black fans do. But I don't remember a string of losses happening because of Coach Dyce's incompetence or inability to coach situationally. I'm totally putting this more on Sean Burke. They got an extension both until 2026, and this guy made the firing right away as he could. He made him the scapegoat. Like, are you kidding me? What kind of DNA change with roster players has Burke brought in? What Grey Cup winners with character and leadership has he brought in? Nobody. So how are they going to make that change into a winning team? It makes no sense. Drew Brown is there, yes. What has he done with the offensive line?
Drew Desjardins, that's about it.
Yeah. Come on now.
All the guys that he did bring in, because it wasn't last year where he went pretty heavy on the O-line, or the year before.
Like, why didn't he go for Jamarcus Hardrick?
Yeah.
It's not just about the names that you have on the roster. It's about the leadership that you have in the room. Nobody looks at Ottawa and is like, whoa, what a core that they have from year to year. So I don't know why this guy is still there. And I get it. I get why Bobby Dyce was fired, because you can't have that many losing seasons and keep your job in professional football. But at the same time, I'm putting this totally on the GM's shoulders, because y'all know I am a fan of Bobby Dyce. I'm a homer, yes, but whatever. I think he has the qualities to be a good coach. I think he'll land on his feet somewhere as a coach again. Maybe, obviously not a head coach, but he took too much. He's taking too much of the weight of this, I think. How they keep their GM after this is mind-boggling.
What do you do in this situation? If Burke's only got one more year, you're gonna let him hire a coach, and then what? If it doesn't go well, you're gonna fire both, or you're just gonna fire Burke after one season?
You fire him now.
And exactly. Why fire not him now? Just clean house now?
Yeah, you go get someone like Danny McManus. Like, obviously you got to wait until the end of the season, maybe to court him, or maybe you don't. But you got to bring someone in like Danny McManus and give him the reins, just like Hamilton respectfully, rest in peace, got Govea. And yes, I know they didn't look strong at the end of the year, but all the pieces were there. There are character guys in there that have been championship teams. It just puzzles me why this guy's the GM right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. Goodness.
Wow, I just went off for
But
a long time there
but
without even breathing.
yeah, but unfortunately, that's Ottawa, and that's what they've done over the years, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Rick Campbell.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Get a GM in there and get Danny McManus in there and bring back Paul LaPolice. Put your pride up your ass and get the right people in there to change the culture.
You're saying Lapo as a coach?
Yeah, man.
I don't know if I'd go that way either. He just has not had success at coaching.
Well,
OC, yes.
where was he the head coach of again? Ottawa. With who? What pieces did he have there?
Yeah, Winnipeg.
Again,
Joe Mack.
again, and he's the one who brought in Kyle Walters that changed the culture. He knows people. Like under Joe Mack's guidance, that wasn't fair at all, and he brought that team to a Grey Cup.
But you know what? The success of guys like Corey Mace and even Mark Gillum this year for the Elks, man, that makes me think, hey, it's time to go in those directions. And if you can find a long-time assistant out there, and I know they tried that with Bobby Dyce and it didn't work, but you know, there's fresh blood out there, right? The Bombers with Mike O'Shea even.
But then you look at like we just gave praise to Noel Thorpe. Is he really candidate to be a head coach? Is a Calgary defensive coordinator a candidate to be a head coach? Jordan Younger, probably.
Noel Thorpe is interesting. Like for the success that Montreal's had over the last few years, you never hear his name in coaching circles unless he's just like, I'm not doing it or what. It's interesting.
Some guys are assistants for life.
Yeah. And they're good with it.
You know, I don't think Richie Hall would be another shot, given another shot.
Yeah. I think he's probably hit that age where it's probably a long shot for him to get that whole head coaching job.
He's loving his position right now, I bet you.
Probably. The pressure's like not there, right? It's all on Jordan Younger. So Richie Hall can be in the background helping Younger out, and you know, but he doesn't have the pressure of, hey, if this defense sucks, it's on Richie Hall. No, it's on Jordan Younger. So
who are you talking about off season coaching stuff? It's great. We still got about talk about Toronto and what Edmonton might do and what's happening there. But let's concentrate on the CFL.
Tyrell Ford re-signed with Edmonton, though. Eh, that's pretty good for Edmonton.
No doubt, eh? Didn't even want to. No. That's too bad.
But he had signed a 2-year deal, though. Anyways, didn't he this year?
Does that
he signed on for one more now?
I guess a little more of an extension.
Yeah.
Does that mean they said that his brother's going to stick around too? I don't know. We'll see.
That'll be an interesting one this offseason.
CFL fans, tell us, do you think that the Fords will be there as a tandem next season and beyond? Benny, you have anything to say to our friends?
Oh, we're done?
Oh, of the remaining teams. I always miss these sometimes once in a while near the end. Because I know we have a time count because there's hockey and baseball going on. Yeah. Of the remaining teams, who is your Grey Cup favorite and why? I'm going to get put over the fire for this. But if they weren't playing the Bombers, I'm going to say the Alouettes because the way their defense is coming along and because how healthy they are. Yes, BC looks amazing and they currently have the best offense in the league, but there's something about the Owls defense. And again, Noel Thorpe, like, I don't know. And Lemon is coming back. Get out of here. Are you serious? He is coming back this week. So there's something to be said about the Owls, although I think the Bombers will win this week.
That D line though for the Owls is crazy, man. I keep looking at it, and you know, like their 4 starting guys, Oakman, Berglund, Wynn, Uguak. I can't know if I said that right. And then you still got Lemon back there, and these Robertson and all these other guys, right? It's crazy, and that's what drives me crazy. I wish the Bombers would have done that. And then their linebacker crew was Sankey and Beverett. Okay, anyways, yeah, that wasn't even the question, but you know, I think it's going to be tough.
Why would you not play the heavy set out of necessity?
You're going to have to. You have to, because this is going to be a tough
and fullback block and fullback.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the more I look at it, the more worried I get. You know what would have been funny if Saskatchewan actually pulled out that game last week against BC, and Montreal and BC had to go up against each other.
Wow, eh?
That would have been a heavyweight match in the first round of the playoffs. And if those refs didn't blow that whistle quickly, who knows? It might have happened. I'm going to pick BC.
No doubt.
As BC is my Grey Cup favorite. Just playing probably the best football right now at any of the teams. Offensively on top, defense is playing better. I still give the edge, like you say, to Montreal's D over BC's D. And they always say defense wins championships, but and it might be the case because if you're coming into Winnipeg in the cold, obviously the passing game sometimes does not work great that late in the season. But yeah, BC's just been too dominating, and Rourke is getting it done through the air, and he can run too.
Whew, CFL playoffs. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
I'm sure nobody thought the Bombers would win in 2019. Bomber fans, cheer loud. Keep your hopes. This is a top 3 defense in the league. Like I said earlier, this team is chock full of Grey Cup participants and winners. There's a hunger in the room, I bet you, to win again. So
yeah, and you got a chance to prove people wrong, right? We're all like, not we're all of us, but a majority of people are writing them off. I'm probably thinking they don't have much of a chance here, right? At all. And you got guys like Willie Jeffrey, Davis Alexander is like, hey, come on to Montreal or whatever the heck he's saying, and hopefully that gets Willie going, Yeah. And I mean, Willie doesn't need stuff to get going, but that little added motivation to kind of stick it to the guy, right? And that's hopefully the rest of the Bombers will see that too. And we need that out of the offense. I have no worries about this defense. It's the offense that concerns me, and hopefully they can play some good football.
Come on, Jason Hogan. We believe.
Yeah, let's go.
Believe.
Let's go. Exactly.
Play the heavy set, man. Just play that heavy set.
Why don't you text him right now and let him know?
Ride the heavy set hard, bro. Benny, you got anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and follow. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and go Bombers go.
I'm going to try to bring some greatness from the Bomber past, and I'm going to paraphrase Coach Dave Ritchie, because I don't remember the quote exactly, but I know it exists somewhere in Dave Ritchie's ether. But it's time for the Bombers to climb the mountain, cut the Kings' heads off, and drink the good water. Any former Bombers of the past, y'all check me on this, but he talked about climbing the mountain. He talked about cutting the Kings' heads off, and he talked about drinking the good water. So I'm bringing those spirits to the Bombers this week in the playoffs. Go Bombers, go. Don't forget to subscribe. Any last cheers for the Bombers?
I got nothing. Just go out, play hard, lay it on the line, man.
Lay it on the line. Man, come on, Bombers. Let's go.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.